Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to this channel because I have exciting content coming in every single week. However, today I'm talking about something very quick and easy, something very sweet, which is the top 5 things that you should do with your tax refund. So without further ado, without further beating around the bush, let's get into it. Coming in at number 5, invest in yourself. And I'm not really talking about a spa day. I'm not talking about going to the beautician or going to get a haircut. I mean, that would be nice, but by investing in yourself, what I'm actually talking about is taking a course or buying a book or doing a certification or taking anything that would increase your capacity to earn more. We're in the age of AI and a lot of things are changing. So you want to make sure that you are still ahead of the curve. You want to make sure that your earning potential is still very sharp and very relevant in the market. So you can spend $100 or even $300 on a course or a certification that would increase your earning capacity by $5,000 or even $10,000 in a year or 2 years time. That investment that you're making in yourself, it has the potential to generate unlimited returns because if you are betting on yourself, you'll be truly unstoppable. Number 4, invest in your home. And by this, I don't mean go buy a new kitchen or maybe change your bathroom. What I mean by this is quite simple. Now, this is the best time to invest in energy efficient upgrades that will save you money. This is also the best time to invest in things that would enhance your well-being while you work. And so I give a simple example. Last year with my tax refund, I bought a new table, and this table is the ergonomic kind, the type that allows you stand and sit after a while. So it takes pressure off my back. So now that I'm working, I don't sit for 8 hours or even 10 hours at a stretch. When I'm feeling tired of sitting, I can adjust my table to a standing height and I continue working and it's fine. And so investing in yourself, investing in your home is one way to spend your tax refund wisely. Now we're getting closer to the very interesting part. Coming in at number 3, you should invest your tax refund. Yes, I said it. Invest your tax refund. Right now, we're in war times. There's a war going on in Iran. Oil prices have spiked and the markets have gone crazy. If you look at the market charts, everything is red right now in the market. If you have been investing consistently over the years, buying stocks and ETFs at different points in time, now might be a time to rebalance your portfolio and average down by buying good stocks, good ETFs at discount prices. So if you get your tax refund, you can then plunk that into your TFSA if you still have room at no cost. If you still have room, put your tax refund into your TFSA and buy some good quality stocks or ETFs that are currently on discount. And even if you've not been investing since, if this is your first time investing, you can use this as an opportunity to get started, get your feet wet into the market. $500, $100 even, $200 might go a long way if you consistently invest for the long term. And so do not squander your tax refund, do not waste it. Invest it into your future and you'll be better for it in the long term. So far, if you've been watching my videos, if you've been following my content, I really want you to guess what number 2 is. And if you guessed paying off your debt, you'll be absolutely correct. And frankly, this should even be number 1, but number 1 is even better. So at number 2, pay off your high interest debt. And by high interest, I mean any debt that is higher than 7%. I consider that to be high interest debt. And with your tax refund, you should pay that off. Why should you pay off interest debt higher than 7%? I'll tell you. There are few investments in the market that would give you returns higher than 7% consistently over a long term. The S&P 500 typically does around 7 to 10%. I mean, going back several years, that's the range where the S&P 500 typically falls in. And so if you have debt higher than 7%, it means you are losing money on a net basis every single year. So with your tax refund, I will highly suggest you cut down your high interest debt. And by high interest debt, I'm talking credit card debts that are usually in the range of 20% or higher. There are also lines of credit, car loans, whatever, even personal loans, anything higher than 7%, it has to go once you get your tax refund. Now, the best part about cutting high interest debt is it frees up your cash flow for you to invest in long-term assets. So if you have high interest debt off the table, you then have more cash to invest in stocks, to invest in ETFs, to invest even in dividend-paying stocks that will give you more money in the long term. So high interest debt has to go. And coming in at number 1, I mean, you know it, I know it, but in case you are not aware, at number 1, you should build an emergency fund. Yes, very important. Build an emergency fund. If you didn't have one, now is the best time to start with your tax refund. If you had an emergency fund before, well, you can top it up with your tax refund. And I'll tell you why this is important. Right now, the world is unpredictable. As you can attest, the markets are red because there's a war going on. No one saw the war coming unless you were a political insider, or unless you had a clue that Iran was going to be bombed. Most people never saw that coming. And you can see the reaction. Life is unpredictable. If this situation continues for 3 months, if it continues for another 6 months, who knows how companies will react? An emergency fund is something that separates you from debt. So if the unpredictability that we are living in right now, if the unpredictable times that we currently live in right now persist, things might get hairy very, very fast. So you want to make sure that you have a pile of cash sitting somewhere for emergencies. It might not even be related to the war. It might be that your vehicle broke down, or it might be that you fell sick. It might be that your laptop crashed, or maybe water poured into your laptop, or maybe your phone got stolen and you need to replace some of your key assets that you need to work. An emergency fund makes sure that you don't go into debt to get your life back on track. And by setting up an emergency fund, you can start with 1 month if you're just starting afresh, and gradually work your way to building that into 3 months of living expenses. So tally up how much you spend on a monthly basis, multiply that by 3. That should give you the target of what to aim for in your emergency fund. As much as you can also bump that up to 6 months of living expenses. So once you have that saved up, you have a sufficient buffer to weather any shocks that come from the unpredictable nature of life. So do not waste your tax refund. Use it to build an emergency fund. And you'll sleep better, to be honest, knowing that you have some money saved up in case anything happens, in case your bed breaks or you fall asleep. So your emergency fund will help you get a new bed. In case you missed it, in case you just joined, I'll do a quick recap of the top 5 things you can and you should do with your tax refund. Starting at number 5, invest in yourself. I mean, this speaks for itself. At number 4, invest in your home and invest in your well-being. At number 3, invest in your future. That is, invest in your TFSA, your RRSP, or any non-registered accounts that you have. At number 2, cut off high interest debt. Pay down any high interest that is higher than 7%. And number 1, build an emergency fund. So you can do any of these things with your tax refund, depending on how large that tax refund is. So assess your situation and choose from this list the one that will give you the most impact, and spend that with your tax refund. Because if you don't plan for it, trust me, money has a way of disappearing. So if you don't plan for money, it's gone. That's it for today. That's all I have for you guys. Let me know in the comments what you've done with your tax refund so far. I mean, not for this year, even for previous years. What do you typically do with your tax refund? I know some people who plan holiday trips with their tax refund. Yes, I'm also on that table. I have some trips planned out for this year, and my tax refund is going to cover some of those trips. And I'm also going to use my tax refund to pay off part of my credit card. So I have a plan for it when it comes. So that's all from me. Tell somebody about my channel, share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.